All right, here we go. Okay. So tinny.
Oh, what's that?
It's so tinny.
Well, it's very professional production. Do you just play it off your phone into the microphone?
Yeah, the CPU on my computer just it's not gonna it ain't gonna cut it.
Oh.
Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, okay, that's all good. Well, hi, welcome, weirdos, to One Foot in the Grave podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Jake. Hello again.
So, what?
Hello again. It's been a while.
Well, hello. Oh, I better move this. Yeah, there you go. Okay, good. So it's been a while. What is this season for?
I haven't been keeping track, to be honest. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we are in terms of seasons and episodes. But the last one, I remember being kind of funny, and there was something about. Oh, you know what? It was the deck chair guy. We talked about the Larry lawn chair Larry.
Yeah. Did I publish it, or did we just talk about it?
It's good. No, you published it because I listened to it in the car driving.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, driving to work.
Well, so much has happened. I have so become accustomed to my cage in isolation, and now that like Queensland, where I'm living, is like slowly emerging from the cocoon, and I have to say, I'm not a fan.
You're not ready yet.
I'm not ready. My wings aren't dry. Erin is social, and she's had like people over, and
you're just back to all the old stuff that you disliked so much about life before the
I
pandemic.
hate it so much.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really awful. I went for a motorcycle ride yesterday. That was nice. I actually took a friend along, our neighbor. But
there you go.
riding a motorcycle with a friend, it's kind of like going to the movies with a friend.
I mean, were they on their own motorcycle, or were they like riding cupcake behind you?
No. We took our separate bikes. He's got a big 1600, and yeah, it was nice because it's kind of like going to the movies. You don't have to make conversation. You're just kind of like doing your own thing, really.
Yeah.
But you can make an excuse that you did it socially. Whereas
now, are you thinking of trading in your smaller Harley for a bigger one?
Oh, well, I'm not allowed to for 2 years. Well, probably
2
a year
years
and a half now. Yeah.
Oof.
Yep. Yeah, you use the learner approved motorcycle scheme here. So
it's designed for 16-year-olds. And
it really is.
Dan, who's turning 40.
It really is. Yeah, it's it kind of sucks, but at least Harley makes a bike that I can ride. You know?
I know, but I mean, I'm wondering if Harley Davidson is in a bit of trouble because they've basically changed from being a motorcycle business to being a financing business. I don't know if you noticed, but every motorcycle in there is now like $30,000.
Oh,
even the
you know what? They offered me finance on my bike, and they're like, "Oh, well, we'll give you a low price, a low monthly fee. We'll do 10%." It's like 10% interest.
10%. Can I just collect 10% interest if I pay you now?
I was like, no, I think I can probably just get it redrawn from my home loan for 1.5%.
Yeah.
I'm fixing my home loan in 3 years at 2.13%.
It's pretty good.
It's so good. It's so good.
This is your true crime, paranormal, and personal finance podcast.
This recession has been...
Lock it in now, folks. Lock it in now.
We're
not coming out of this anytime soon. I don't know. Well, Australia did a lot better than we did.
Oh, well,
Canada's a goddamn disaster.
I think that you're getting... The Canadian media is very much focused on the negative. And Mom keeps saying, like, oh, they're not going to have a vaccine for 2 years. And I was like, well, here they're saying that we'll have a vaccine by the end of the year, most likely. Like, they're starting human trials already.
You know how much I love dear Justin Trudeau. dear
Oh.
Justin Trudeau.
J Trude.
Yeah, J Trude. If this is the first time you've listened to this podcast, I'm lying. I don't like him. But what he's doing is he's canceled Parliament. He has a daily giveaway show where he comes out on the steps and picks a identity politics group of some kind and gives them
Demographic.
multi-billion dollars. Yeah.
Mom is like, Trudeau we're going to be in the recession forever. He's giving us all iPads.
Yeah, he bought an iPad for the seniors.
I was like, can I have your iPad then, Mom?
Students, like university students, gave them each $5,000. It's just the seniors. He gave them each $500. It's ridiculous.
I wonder if I'm eligible
just
for
fucking
any of this
fix
because I'm a Canadian citizen, or if it's only for permanent, like for residents.
Well, I'll tell you, this is now. Dad would hate me saying this, but I am fundamentally opposed to taking government money. I won't take it. I just won't take it. I think it's disgusting.
I'm fundamentally for it.
They're going to raise the taxes so astronomically high that I'm probably going to have to stop working. It's ridiculous. So he's borrowed, I think, like $1 trillion with a T.
From who? Who loans it to them, though?
The central bank. So right now, until now, Canada had a AAA rating because the finances up until Trudeau took over were really good. And then he fucked up everything he touched, and he put us in, I don't know, like $400 billion of extra debt. And now, just this year, he's added $250 billion more.
Yeah, but I think
and they're
everyone's
expecting
kind of
the federal
in the same,
deficit to be $1 trillion
in the
by
same
the end of the
boat.
year.
I think it's just going to be. It's kind of like having my kids homeschooled. I was really concerned initially that I was going to fuck everything up and that they're going to be, I don't even think they'd get a job at McDonald's if I taught them, because not only will they not know basic English and math, they would also be rude because I keep telling them to fuck off. I'm working.
Yeah.
So McDonald's isn't going to hire them. They're rude bastards. And I was like, well, you know what, though? Everyone's in the same boat. The kids aren't going to be left behind because everyone's going to be stupider after this. So,
yeah, that's what I was saying to Chrissy. Like, she was worried that they'd go back and Jack would get held back a year. And I was like, well, if he gets held back a year, everybody's getting held back a year.
Yeah,
it's not,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, and, he was not a stupid kid to begin with, so they'll just catch up. And also, our kids are young. It's not.
But see, what's happening here? See, your kids will be fine because Australia's getting back online, right? But in Canada, Trudeau doesn't want to be questioned, so he's keeping Parliament closed. But to keep it closed, he has to continue having this be a massive crisis. So now he said, we are going to vaccinate only when we have a made-in-Canada vaccine.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
In 2023.
Well, the thing is, though, that you can have something that's developed overseas and then you can produce it in your own country. It's really the science that it's lagging. It's not the actual production. Like, it's,
Well, like human trials on some of these vaccines started in February, March. And here we're not even starting phase 1 animal trials until the summer.
Well, I know,
off.
But
Just give us the...
That doesn't matter, though, because, like, if Australia does it and it meets the Canadian standards and Trudeau, for some reason, says it has to be produced in Canada, then, like, the recipe, for lack of a better term, could be sent to Canada and they would just produce it in Canada and then use the Australian data in order to sort of skip over doing the human trials there.
Let's all hope that you are absolutely correct. But
I'm 100%
I
correct.
feel like
I'm
he's trying
scientist.
to prolong the crisis is all I'm getting at. They're telling us our kids aren't going to be back in school in September. I'm like, man, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm working, I'm getting paid like 40%, I think, of normal. And that's just like, no, that's forever. And yeah.
Yeah, but thankfully, like 40% of what you were on
is enough to live on. It's enough to live on. But it's not a huge amount. Think about this, though. Right now, my income tax is 55%.
I know, but you could instead of putting that into your personal company, you could just pay that to yourself.
Oh, I have to, because I have to pay my mortgage and my power bill and stuff.
Oh,
but
let me also set the scene. So I'm using my old computer because I started feeling really shady about using my work computer to do podcasting with you. So the quality is going to drop significantly. Also, I no longer have a desk in my room, so I've got a plank over my now bulging stomach that goes from my stomach to my knees. The computer's on there, and then I've put my microphone on there. I'm lying like I'm talking to a shrink on my bed, like lounging. And every time I breathe in, the whole kit and caboodle takes this little jaunty trip as I
The whole system
chuckle.
moves.
Yeah, it's just like
So you got a new motorcycle. That was a new.
I did. Well, you know what? My house eventually is going to fall down because every time I save money to do not
Home repair,
renovations,
DIY.
just basic, not DIY. I was going to hire someone, but basic maintenance of the house,
Yeah.
like the shower's leaking. And then we had this company in, they were going to fix the leak. It was all sweet. And then everyone went into lockdown and I didn't know if I was going to have a job. So I saved all this money. And then I was like, might just postpone the shower. It seems to be working fine still. I'm just going to go buy a motorcycle. So, but it's like a 2005 motorcycle. It's got little bits of rust on it. But you know, the thing is that they're so expensive here. Like it's $8,000 for one that's from 2008.
Yeah.
So this one was like significantly cheaper. I don't know why. But you know what? The WRs don't actually have a fan. They're liquid cooled, but they don't have a fan. I don't know how it's going to fare in the summer.
Well,
But-
it's made it so far.
Well,
They're pretty
I don't
much
know. The guy
bulletproof.
sold
They're
it.
Yamahas.
The guy sold it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're a lot of fun to ride, though. It looks pretty cool.
It goes. It's got, I think, because it's light, but it has the same engine size pretty much as my Harley. It feels like it's got more torque, and it takes off.
Sweet.
I
I
lean forward.
also bought a new to me motorcycle.
Oh yeah, the Kawasaki.
Yeah. So as the economy has absolutely crashed here, and
We're doing.
I mean,
our
I've
part
lost
for the-
30% of my net worth because everything's in the stock market. So in a way, see, you're doing it right. You are as fiscally responsible as Justin Trudeau.
yeah, that's right. You know, if it's good enough for the
We've
Prime
raised some
Minister to pay
taxes to pay down the debt, but now that I have the money, I'm going to get it to buy somebody's vote. Here, let's give some fishing licenses to whoever. Anyway,
You know what's going to be funny though? Like, if Mum does get this iPad, it's going to come and it's going to be a flypad, and it will be like this thing that's just clunky and it's like 4 inches thick.
Russian.
Yeah, it still uses cathode ray tubes.
Yeah, 360p.
It'd be like, yeah, it was $1,000 for each iPad, but I think it's really going to benefit the senior community. I can't see
In
it.
Russia,
It's too
display illuminates
pixelated.
you. Yeah, it's a fucking gong show here. I got to turn down the gain. I see I'm like maybe a little bit boosty there. Anyway, I bought this bike. It's a 1999 ZRX 1100. It's called, and just took it for a ride just right before I got the text message from you. And one thing that's happened here, obviously everything's closed, so you can't register a vehicle. So I'm just driving it illegally.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that in that area, there's very little police presence.
Yeah, there hasn't been much. Well, they're usually fairly good as long as you're not really busting the speed limit.
What's really funny is that here they advertised that they're no longer going to be doing random breath testing on the side of the road.
Wow,
Now, if they
Australia's
pull you
really
over-
done a 180 from the days of the commercials that said every K over is a killer.
Well,
And,
they'll still stop you if you're doing something stupid or if they're doing a registration check or something like that.
Yeah.
But what I think that they're going to do is, in order to get us out of the debt that we are in, because what really drives me bonkers is that the government has doubled the dole payments for people who are on the dole.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
But they haven't given anything to like people who are still working.
Now, how does
So-
that make sense? Well, to me, that's fine. Don't give anything to the people who are working. Don't give any extra to the people who aren't working. just get the fucking crisis over with. You know, they're going to pay enough in the people who have lost their jobs, right? That's going to cost enough. They don't need to come up with extra payments. Like they're like, you should pay. Now we've got some of the doctors. We should be getting paid danger pay. Fuck off. Just get us back to work. Just get us back to work.
The thing that I think is happening is that they know that the people who are on the dole are not the most fiscally responsible.
Right.
So they'll be like, "Yay, we got double the dole payment. Let's go buy a new TV."
Yeah.
Whereas if they just randomly gave me $2,000, well,
you would save it.
I'd probably go buy a motorcycle. But
yeah,
I would probably put it in my savings account.
It wouldn't go into the economy, basically, is what you mean.
No, exactly. So
they're trying to encourage fiscal irresponsible. Yeah, that may be actually. That's probably true.
Yeah,
somebody's probably thought of that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, those cigarettes aren't going to buy themselves.
Yeah, cigarettes. Now, I had a patient who was a drug dealer. And he was telling me all about the meth business. And he said the other thing that they're really good at is, what's it called? Fraud. They defraud the government out of payments for like seniors and stuff, people who have died. He said it's super easy. Now, I won't go into the details. I don't want to advertise that. But
you know what though, like
that keeps them in the lithium that they need to produce meth.
I feel like the whole meth dealing probably not a great choice. Yeah. But if you're defrauding the government because they're stupid enough not to check,
they're definitely stupid enough. They only want to catch people who are, well, frankly, they want to screw over people who will make the news to scare other people from doing it. They're not after, Johnny social insurance fraud. They're after that's why I wouldn't, even if I wasn't fundamentally opposed to taking government money when I don't need it, I don't, I figured there's a loan option for businesses, right? Where you can borrow $40,000, $10,000 is forgivable if you pay back $30,000 by the end of the year. I was like, man, I could just take the $10,000, just put it aside and pay them back $30,000, right?
Yeah.
But if I did that, of course, there's a chance that the next day I'd be in the news on January 2nd.
Well, no, but
Dr. Jake defrauds the
1 million % though is you probably wouldn't be on the news, but you would be audited.
Yeah, well, I would lose my job. I would be humiliated. Speaking of that, I published a book.
Asshole of a dog is barking, and I apologize. It's the most annoying bark.
Is that Sophia?
Oh, no. It's Slim, and I just... it's this bark that I know I'm not going to, but I just want to hit him so bad.
I mean, you have the stuff. You could just put him down.
I want to. Aaron would kill me.
Don't, now mine's kicking off. I think she heard me say that.
So you got your book published.
Yeah. And to my delight and horror simultaneously, it's actually fairly high up in the humor charts.
Yeah, that's great. I can't get it here.
I know. I don't know why not. Oh, you know why? I think when it goes on as an ebook, you can get it as a Kindle book.
Oh, right. So it's not there yet. I was searching the Kindle store.
No, it's not there yet. I don't know why. It's only as a paperback at the moment. I'm going to just come out and say it. It's called Grantrepreneurs. Look it up. Look it up.
It's cool because you've used a different last name. You and I have a different last name.
Yeah, so exactly.
That's good.
Went by Swan on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you'll like that. You'll like that book if you like
Duck.
Douglas Copeland style comedy.
Yeah. Cruel of our parents to call me Daniel Duck.
Yeah. Yeah. Went by a pen name on that one. Anyway, yeah, so check out Grantrepreneurs. I'm a little bit freaked, though. I figured I'd put it on there. I'd tell people about it. That was my plan. I said, I'm not going to just keep it a secret. I want to sell a few copies.
Yeah.
And I think it's sold, I get $2 a copy. It's not like I'm going to be in the money, but I think I've sold over 100 copies. So, so it
$200
went
right there.
Yeah, exactly. It went from
many did you buy
number.
yourself,
I think it opened on the humor chart at like number 297 or something like that. Right now, it's number 16.
That's pretty cool. In Canada only, or in Canada and US?
That's on Amazon.com. So I think it's a subsection of fiction and literature humor.
Right.
It's not like on the total book charts. I think it's number 1,800 something. So it's never going to be
top.
It's
2000,
not like
though.
Yeah. I'm in the top 2,000 right now, guys. It's a good feeling.
You know, you're in the top 25% of all the books in the world. No,
but this is
you wouldn't be. Sorry,
the pandemic.
Probably...
What's that?
I love quarantine. I really hate that I'm going to have to see people again.
Don't don't do it. I'm concerned as I'm watching the little bar under my voice that you and I are getting off. We'll find out. You know how sometimes our voices don't line up?
100%, especially because I'm on my old shitty computer.
Slim's going off. Yeah.
I fucking hate that dog.
What else is new? Oh, the front wheel fell off my truck.
Oh, yeah, Mum told me. Hold on, I gotta go hit the dog. I'll be right back.
Just ignore the animal abuse happening by the veterinarian in the background. He's not really going to hit it. I mean, he might hit it. When he was a kid, actually, this is quite a funny story. A big dog came yarking at him when we were fishing one time. And he, instead of running away, rammed his fist down the dog's mouth, down its throat. And it went shrieking off into the distance. Do you remember, I was just telling the story about when we were fishing when you were a little kid and the big dog came after you?
Oh, yeah.
And you stuck your hand down its throat when it went to bite you?
Yeah. It was a big German Shepherd.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was. I think that was when we knew he's going to be a vet.
I went back and... Hold on, sorry. I went back when I was like 13 and it remembered me. And it chased me all the way down the driveway, and it bit me right on the ass.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was like, fuck.
It was a nasty dog.
Yeah, I mean that was a great place to go fishing, though.
It was like a stocked trout pond, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they would
outside
eat
Pugwash?
corn. Like you didn't have to put anything. You could just bring a can of corn and use the corn as bait, and they would eat it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was awesome. And I remember, I think I was 10 or 11 years old, and it was the night before we went. I was so excited. Like, that fishing place was my favorite place in the world to go fishing there.
It was great.
And I remember I went to bed. I was really excited, like almost hypertensive as a little kid. Now I know the feeling. And I pissed the bed. The last time I was way too old to be pissing the bed, but it was the last time I've ever pissed a bed was
I remember the last time I pissed a bed. I had gone in the morning I crawled in with Mum and Dad, and I was wearing a bathing suit, so I must have gone like into the river the night before or something like that. And I woke up pissing, and I got out of bed and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go now, bye. Mom was like, oh, the bed's a bit damp. I was like, yeah, I peed your bed. I was like 12 years old, or at least I feel like I was 12 years old.
Yeah. Jack used to crawl in bed with us and pee the bed, but he got, I'm just reflecting now on what childhood was like when we were growing up, and I can't believe like how inattentive our parents were.
Oh, I know.
Think about it, because you were just talking about sleeping in a bathing suit after swimming all day, and now we've got this little kid, and we're like, okay, it's pajama time. You take 15 minutes fighting about that, then it's brush your teeth time. I don't think I brushed my teeth between the ages of 5 and 14.
And I've got Elijah rides his motorcycle. Oh my.
Uh-oh. I just
Slim.
lost you.
No, it's me. I'm yelling at the dog. He's just in here whinging. Oh my God.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a fucking piece of shit. is what he is. He's a fucking munted fucking whippet with a cleft palate and a voice box that would... Fuck. Hold on.
Is this one of Aaron's project dogs? I have a feeling.
It's my bad.
You guys just kind of adopt lost causes, don't you? Oh, yeah, he's gone. Their house is like an animal menagerie. Just like... It's almost like you're looking at things through one of those Instagram filters, like Faded Glory or whatever it's called, because there's just a haze of dust and dander everywhere because of all the animals. Yeah. Now, I complain about his place, but I have this dog now, Stella, and man, she's like a...
It's me again.
Fuzzball with hair floating everywhere. Yeah.
Sorry. This is going to be a great episode. I can
It's
feel
all
it in my bones.
You can feel it in your bones.
I get so breathless when I'm running after the dog.
Oh, yeah. So I was going to tell you. So I took my truck to... I won't tell you the name of the place because I don't... Well, they should be... They should be
don't
smeared.
name and
But
shame.
we'll wait
Sue
until
us.
next time. See if they make it right. Anyway, it was a place that Dad refused to have work done on his car. But I stored my tires there, and then you get in the cycle of like every season, you pick up your tires, and they've stored the other ones. So
it's just
anyway,
easier
I had my winters taken off and the summers put on. And of course, it was a Friday, and I was at work, so I couldn't come right over and pick up the car. So I said, just lock the keys in it. I paid them over the phone, went to get it. Thank God I didn't go up on the highway. I was going to go to the grocery store, and I turned right out of the parking lot, and I made it about, maybe 100 meters, and I heard this ka-chunk, 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 and I thought, oh my God, one of the wheels is falling off. But I didn't know which one, so I just like gradually let it drift over into the dirt, and sure enough, all the lug nuts were gone off the driver's side front tire, and it was just sitting on the threaded bolts, and had torn the wheel up, torn the bolts off, all the lug nuts were missing. Man.
Is this the same place that Mum went to? Because her tire fell off too, right?
Yes. Yep. Same.
No, it just
same
exploded.
Place. Yeah. And then I've actually had it happen before from that place with my Jeep before I got the Ford.
Well, someone's not going to be getting a good Google review, let me tell you. Check Yelp.
I know. So this is a paranormal podcast, but have you had any cool, like, have you seen anything, good movies, paranormal stuff? I haven't been paying any attention, really.
I have. Okay, so, my main news source, TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah. So this guy got a, what's it called, a deep web mystery box.
Oh God, Jack watches all those.
And he every kind of day he opens a new item that came in the mystery box. And one time there was a witch's spirit inside it, and it was like sealed up with wax and shit, and probably literally shit. And he opened it, and all these weird things started to happen in his house, and and I watched another one, and this guy was just like randomly whistling in his house, and the cupboards started to open and shit on their own, and I couldn't see any like fishing line. And also, if you're watching TikTok, then sometimes people are just recording themselves. They record themselves for hours at a time for 30 seconds.
I thought TikTok videos were mandatory to be 15 or 30 seconds or something.
They're a minute long at the most, but like people, it takes a lot of takes for them to get the dance moves right or whatever they're trying to do. So
okay, because like sometimes
record.
Jack wants me to record him doing trick shots, and I just let the thing run. Like that, you mean?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to get it in like it's a basketball shot. He's going to try like 50 times
exactly.
before he gets it in.
So
okay.
They do that, and what?
That was my nose whistle.
Oh no. No, I got a message. Yeah, anyway. So it's the shadow people. They've got clips of shadow people that like they'll post the video, and then people will be like, what the fuck is in the background? And it's like you could never notice it unless you were like a huge fan or something like that. And then they'll post it again and say, what is this? And if you look at it, there's like legitimately someone standing behind them that's a shadow. I think shadow people exist. I am convinced.
TikTok has convinced you.
No, well, I mean, like, it's not like you can't. I mean, they could edit it, or there could be someone just in a black suit, but it's so common, it's bizarre. I just reckon that it's. And the other thing that's really funny is I think that in some country they must call like a poltergeist a djinn.
Okay.
So, like, when you scroll through the comments, they're like, bro, you got a djinn in your house. Like, I love this.
I should have gotten a djinn before this podcast. I haven't, I don't know. I found the pandemic scary enough. Like, the stuff that, it hasn't been bad here, obviously, but the stuff that you read about happening in Italy in the hospitals, like back in when we first started talking about it.
Yeah.
I was super stressed about it. So I didn't watch anything that could be in any way upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
That's how I get my mind off of the things that upset me, is to watch upsetting movies. So if like I'm feeling down, I'll put on a horror movie, and then I'll like, I don't feel anything. So I don't know. It just turns my focus to the thrill of the movie rather than the thrill of real life.
It's like those people who just cut themselves just to feel something, man. I eat for the same reason.
It's funny. I'm fat, but I don't think that I eat out of like emotional eating. I think I eat out of boredom.
That's the same thing. Boredom is an emotion.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
You
just eat to feel something, man.
They don't put that on the the Asperger's cards that I can get. What emotion
Where on
is
the
this?
spectrum are you?
Happy, sad,
I'm just
angry.
bored all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think they would call it ennui.
Ennui?
I just get the sense of ennui.
Can you hear the freaking dog?
Oh, fuck it. Don't worry about the dog. The dog's on the podcast today. Jack will be jealous.
I hate the bark. It's just it's this ear-piercing pitch.
You know what? Ours started doing it. You know why? Because we put her on the bark collar to stop her from howling.
I know.
And then she just changed to like.
It's like it's like intermittent and random and high pitched, but it's got a low start, so it gets you on all frequencies.
Just put the bark collar on it and set it really to low sensitivity.
I don't
or high
have a bark collar.
Just zaps it.
I've got a remote.
This sounds so
control.
cruel, but they do work.
The other thing that I've been watching is people doing bark collar challenges, where they put on the collars
and see how much they can get away with.
They bark, but like they really fucking jump.
Yeah, I did it. I did it just to see how cruel it was when we got it for Stella, and
it's pretty cruel.
It's pretty effective.
It's pretty cruel.
Yeah, I put it on and just growled like she does when there's a deer in the yard.
Yeah,
because I didn't want it to shock her just for doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But and then oh jeez.
Carapace shit.
Shit on the floor.
Why does the dog keep shitting on the floor? At the window, at the bay window. Fuck.
You know what? She's really funny. She's a digger. I've never had a dog that's a digger like this before.
Careful.
She's dug up all the gardens. She digs these huge holes and then she comes in covered in dirt and jumps in my bed and rolls around. I don't know.
I hate animals.
Well, you've moved on.
Why didn't I realize this 25 years ago?
You've moved on. You're now no longer a clinical vet.
Yeah, it's nice.
So you don't have to feel bad and adopt all the
here's
hair-lipped
the
animals.
thing, though. I genuinely love other people's animals. Like, when they come in and I get to give them vaccinations and stuff, like, I love them. And because it's like I see them for 10 minutes, they're well cared for compared to mine.
Yeah.
They're clean.
I mean, that's how I feel about parents.
That's terrible.
My God, you're so normal and you've been so loved. It's just a pleasure having dinner with you. The shit bag I have to go home to. No.
Speaking of which, weren't you going to get Eric to come over and build something for you?
Oh, probably. There are so many projects that...
I think it was actually... I think it was going to be another shed. Are you building another shed?
No.
Oh.
I've got enough shed space. I had been... Oh, are you thinking of the shed that I tried to build that fell on Chrissy?
No. No, but that's hilarious.
So we also had a tree, a gigantic tree, came down in a windstorm. Did I tell you this? And it went through our basement door.
Oh, yeah. That was
it dented it in. Yeah, so I got a little... actually, I had my friend Peter came over and helped me cut it up with his dad's chainsaw. And we cut 4 6-foot-long logs off the main body of the thing. And I was going to use them for corners for like a fort or something for Jack. But I'm very concerned because my handyman skills, as you know,
are lacking.
Fucking terrible. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I feel like I could do something useful with it. But I myself bought a little electric yard chainsaw. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They still need like the bar oil, but they just plug in. Whew.
Oh, yeah.
Is that thing ever awesome? So we had another tree come down. I chopped it all up. I felt very manly. Then I chopped all the branches off the other tree. And then just as I was feeling my manliest, I nearly cut my foot in half.
Yeah.
It split the ground in front of my foot. So I was cutting through this thing and it just like let go. Don't tell Mom. It let go the branch and the branch snapped off. And I kind of, just the way I reacted, I kept my finger on the trigger.
That's
and
not good.
Kind of pushed the chainsaw down to avoid it kicking back into me. And stuck it in the ground right in front of my toe. Yeah. And as you know, the tip of the chainsaw goes in the ground, then the whole chainsaw kicks out of the ground towards your shoulder. But
I don't know that
by
because
then
I've never operated, nor will I ever operate a chainsaw.
Yeah, they're fun, but they're super dangerous. But they're very fast. Like it's amazing how much faster it is to get through a day's work.
Using a fucking hatchet?
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, that's what I was using.
I know. Of course.
No kidding. I was using a handsaw.
That's all we've ever been trained in. Hatchet.
Yeah. Hatchet or handsaw. But, the saw gets stuck, right? Because as you get down into the tree bends and then sticks your saw blade in it. And then, so that's what happened. I just gave up. I left my saw outside for like a month until the chainsaw came. It was stuck in a piece of tree.
Now, the other thing that's going to annoy me, I'm really frustrated. I've reduced my drugs that I'm on for depression and anxiety. And
good timing.
Until
Great
this,
timing.
Right? Well, you know what? I've been very content in my quarantine isolation, but now there are people at my house.
Oh, I'd hate that.
And they're staying overnight and stuff. And they've left you can hear it in the background, surely.
Yeah.
They've left the tap running just enough that it's squealing.
Yeah.
It's squealing in my ear right now.
It's like that movie Mother. That.
Yep.
Why are they staying at your house? I would have none of it.
I don't have a choice.
Are they family or friends?
Family.
You're kind of stuck.
But I love them. That's the thing. But it's just.
I don't.
Little annoyances in life.
We were talking about this last time actually. Like Sally, Sally could have ended up staying with you, and you'd have been in some kind of fucking catastrophe when she came down with shingles. But I can't. Nobody even asks me because I just say no. I would just say, look,
I know, but
if you're short on money, I will put you up in a hotel, and I would never ask for it back. I'm not a bad guy, but I don't want to live with anybody. I barely want to live with my closest loved ones.
It's not like I was consulted on this matter.
Yeah. You know? But like if I was going to Australia, say I was going all the way to Australia, I wouldn't live with you guys. I wouldn't even ask. The closest I would do is if I rented a van, I might sleep in it in your driveway, but I would never ask to stay in your house. It's weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same.
Like my friend John went over, Johnny, he's been on the show. Yeah. And I think he stayed at your house. So like people do that. That's how people travel. Like Sue and Peter, they would stay at your house if they didn't have a place there, or they, But it wouldn't occur to me I would feel so weird staying with people.
I've got to go turn off this tap. I'm sorry.
You do it. I'm getting ready for Balloon Fest 86. I hope you're ready. We talked about this
yes.
last time.
Okay, you start. I'll be right back.
All right. Most of my notes for Balloon Fest 86 came from a Cuxer video on YouTube. He covered this. And it was it's QXIR. This was one of the strangest tragedies of my childhood, and I thought I'd share it because it's an interesting story. I kind of remember it happening. And as a side note of interest, Cuxer, his channel is brilliant. It's one of those. All he does is tell stories and he animates them. They're really good. And actually, after we did the episode about the guy with the Killdozer, I can't even remember what we called the episode. The guy's name is Marvin Haymeyer anyway. Cuxer came out with a video of the same story, and his video is really funny. It's worth, and he made the same point, one of the same points as I did about like how everybody had seen the Killdozer being built, but didn't comment on it. Anyway, Balloon Fest 86 obviously was in...
I got that last
there he is.
Who said
well,
that?
we were just talking about I was talking about how I got a lot of this from the Cuxer video.
Who's we? Who's the we?
What?
Yes, we were just talking about what?
Yeah. Sorry. I was talking about the Cuxer video. Do you watch him on YouTube? QXIR?
No.
So remember Marvin Haymeyer and the Killdozer?
Yeah.
So he did a video about it. This guy just animates stories. He's an Irish guy with an Irish accent. He's really funny, really dry delivery. And remember I was talking about the Killdozer and how the exoskeleton was suspended in the shed and nobody, people would go in all the time and nobody knew what it was.
Yeah.
And I think I said the line something like, you don't know what you're supposed to see in a garage. So you're like, oh, lawnmower, normal, spare tires, normal. Exoskeleton, probably normal.
Yeah.
Air pump, normal.
Killdozer.
He said the exact same thing in his video, and I was like, oh, brilliant. But I got this Balloon Fest 86 information from his video. So Balloon Fest 86 was intended to be a harmless publicity stunt for the United Way in Cleveland. Preparation took 6 months and involved building a structure the size of a city block, 150 by 250 feet.
United Way, is that a charity?
Yeah, it's a charity.
Yeah,
I think it's it's the one with the hand and the rainbow over the hand.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. Another logo. So this 150 by 250 foot structure was built just for this occasion, and the structure was covered with a mesh net. It was 3 stories high, and the mesh net was put in place to hold the balloons. The company in charge of building the structure and organizing the event was called Balloon Art by Treb and was based out of Los Angeles. But we're in Cleveland, so just to put that, because it's not LA weather that's going to come into play. Children sold sponsorships for the event at the price of $1 for 2 balloons. Inside the structure at the time of the event, 2,500 students and other volunteers filled balloons with helium, and the initial plan was to release 2 million balloons. How many times did I say balloons in this? I wrote my notes on my phone, and I obviously didn't double check for redundancy. Ultimately, only 1,429,643 were actually filled.
It's a fuck ton of balloons, though, for real.
That's a lot of balloons.
Where do they even find that many balloons?
Well, to me, what a waste of helium. I don't know if you're aware, but there is a helium shortage. Every time you use it, helium floats off into space. We do not keep helium on Earth.
What?
So, yeah. Every
can't
time you
just
release a
create
helium balloon, that helium is gone forever.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And you can't
It's
make
gotta be-
helium. It's an element.
Where-
Well, you can make
where
it
does
in
it
like
come
a
from,
fusion
though?
reactor. What's that?
Where do people find helium? Is it in the ground?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, fuck off.
Yeah. Look it up.
I'm fucking looking it up right the fuck now.
Yeah.
You keep going. I'll tell you
keep
when you're
going.
wrong.
So helium may become the most valuable substance in the world because liquid helium is needed for a bunch of industrial applications. And we're running out of it. On Saturday, September 27th, 1986, with a rainstorm approaching, organizers decided to release the balloons early. And at 1:50 p.m., the net was retracted and almost 1.5 million balloons were released and surrounded Terminal Tower. There are some great pictures
You're
of it.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm right.
It's from
I know
natural
things.
gas.
I read. I also studied chemistry.
Yeah, so did I, but I didn't
remember that.
fucking focus on helium.
I did. I loved elemental chemistry and helium,
Well,
and
here's
I
the
love
good thing.
nuclear chemistry.
We can just
Anyway.
hand out hot air balloons to children with little candles on them.
Hydrogen. You can use hydrogen. The reason helium floats away is because it doesn't react with anything. It's inert. It's an inert gas, so it can just continue forever. But hydrogen would eventually turn into. It would react with things. Reduction
Fire.
reactions.
It tends to react with fire, as witnessed by the what was it? The
The Hindenburg.
The Hindenburg.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure we covered the hint. We? Yeah, another balloon story. We'll have to cover that one sometime. The balloons, so they surrounded Terminal Tower, and there's a picture, and it looks like a giant sea creature coming up the tower. It's quite cool, but this all goes to shit quite quickly. The balloons drifted into a cold front, and instead of remaining aloft, they all came back down, fully inflated because of the cold air. So they're supposed to stay in the air for
recycling the helium.
6 hours or something. Yeah. The roads and waterways became clogged with balloons. Fishermen Raymond Broderick and Bernard Sulzer had gone out on September 26 and were reported missing by their families on the day of the event. Rescuers spotted their 16-foot boat anchored west of the Edgewater Park breakwall. A Coast Guard search and rescue helicopter crew had difficulties reaching the area because of the asteroid field of balloons. A search and rescue boat crew tried to spot the fishermen floating on the lake, but the Coast Guard official said the balloons made it impossible to see whether anyone
because
was there.
they used like orange and yellow balloons, which
Yeah.
is the same color as the life vests
the
in
life
the
vests.
80s.
And balloons are generally head-shaped, so even if the head was
Yes.
amongst the balloons, yeah. On September 29th, the Coast Guard suspended its search. The fishermen's bodies subsequently washed ashore. The wife of one of the fishermen sued the United Way of Cleveland and the company that organized the balloon release for $3.2 million and later settled on undisclosed terms. The balloons also spooked Arabian horses at a farm in Medina County, and they panicked, suffering permanent injury. The owner sued the United Way for $100,000 and settled out of court.
I love how this probably was, a charity thing to get money for the United Way.
Yeah.
And it's cost them millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, they not only didn't break even. I think they lost quite a lot of money on it.
I would imagine so.
The Burke Lakefront Airport had to shut down a runway for half an hour after balloons landed there. Traffic collisions were reported as drivers swerved to avoid slow-motion blizzards of multicolored orbs or took their eyes off the road to gawk at the overhead spectacle. On the plus side, they did achieve and hold on to the world record. So there you go.
Oh,
Balloon Fest
gosh.
86.
And how many sea creatures have suffered because of this?
Yeah. It was a different time, the 80s, when you
Oh.
could just say, you know what, we should release 2 million latex
2 million
balloons
balloons.
into the atmosphere.
Oh my God.
Fuck it. I want to burn the world's largest flaming tower of crude oil. Just burn it. I want to start the world's
smoke the
largest
biggest
tire
cigarette.
fire for Amnesty International.
Let's give all the children cigarettes and have the most children smoking cigarettes.
How many kids can Evel Knievel jump over with a motorcycle? We estimate he can do about 60, but we're going to put 68 on there so he beats the record no matter what, wherever he lands.
Yeah. How many trains can one dodge?
I remember in the 80s, I remember being in my little Ocean Pacific shorts and a tank top with a 1970s sparkle green helmet on my head, and Dad driving me around on the front of his motorcycle and waving at all the neighbors.
Yeah, but the thing is that the helmet was an adult size.
Yeah, it didn't fit. I'm sorry, yes, I didn't specify, but the helmet didn't fit. It was just wibble wobbling on my head. And Dad would honk at everybody and wave. Yeah. You would go to prison for that now. I'm pretty sure you'd lose your kids.
Well, either by the government or by death.
I went a couple of years ago when I got my dirt bike. I went out on the trails here, and there was, like, you see people in side by sides and people on ATVs, and they still have their kids on them. But the kids are on the back and they're all in gear and stuff. But I was on a particularly rough trail, and there was an ATV in front of me, and the little girl, he hit a giant root, and she backflipped off the back of the ATV and landed flat on her ass on the road, like right in front of me. I was going really slow. It wasn't like I was going to run over. But she just got up and dusted herself off and got back on.
Jeez.
Every weekend we get one or two ATV-related horrendous acts.
Now that I've got this dirt bike, so we used to take Elijah out on his dirt bike, and we've got this little trail in our backyard, and he would, go a little ways and then wait for us to catch up, and then he'd keep going. Well, now that I've got a dirt bike, he just flies. Like, I'm in third in this 450, and he's flying.
Well, your bike is fast. Your dirt bike is really fast. So if he's able to keep up with it. Now, his is a 2-stroke, right?
No, his is a 4-stroke as well.
Oh, it's a 4-stroke. Okay.
Because
I was going to say, it's probably got pretty significant power to weight ratio, given how small he is and how small the bike is.
Yeah, no, he goes so fast. And I'm like, he slows down over the sandy bit, but he's just like pummeling these roots and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, one of us is going to die.
Oh, man.
And I reckon because of the momentum that I'll have, it will be me. Like, if he kind of hits a tree weighing 20 kilos, he'll be all right. Yeah. But if I hit it, I've got a lot of fat.
It's a lot more momentum.
Yeah. So he's absolutely zipping through these things. And I'm like, this is just downright dangerous. Like, we need to stop.
I've been humming around on my illegal motorcycle since I got it. And but I found, like, I bought it, you saw it, it's kind of like sporty looking. But it's from 1999. I kind of got a little bit complacent with it maybe. And I thought, it's like an older bike. It's not that fast. I went to get on the highway today, and I thought, I'm just going to open it up and see how fast it goes. It's only got about 110 horsepower, and I'm a big guy. But that's a lot for a little motorbike. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I hit the throttle, the front wheel came up, and I felt the seat bolster go up my ass. Like, it went into my asshole. Oh, that's how hard it pushed me into the seat bolster, like the little thing at the back. I thought, it's going in my ass. And that was all the time I had before I took my wrist off the throttle.
My ass.
But I felt like this big seat pad going up there, like between my jeans, shoving up my ass. Oh, it was, motorcycles are a great hobby.
Yeah, everyone should do it. Though, I was talking to someone yesterday about people on bicycles and how much they give us the shits. Because, first of all, they don't pay, like, road tax. So we're building all these extra lanes for bicycles, but the bicycle people are not contributing to that cost.
No.
And And,
Well, most of
we
them
have
probably have cars. I don't know.
I know, but they're driving the cars in the car lane, right? So,
Yeah.
that's its own cost.
Yeah.
This is an extra cost. So they're not paying anything towards that, and they're not registered or licensed. So, no one's going to catch them. Anyway, so we often these guys are so fit that they're going the same speed as my car, like in a 60-kilometer zone.
Yeah, and they've got their
Usually
little carbon fiber bike. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got this little tiny carbon fiber bike and a wheel the width of my pinky finger, and they're I'm going that speed, and I'm wearing leather and body armor, and they're wearing lycra.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
So not only are they not contributing to the road cost, they're also not contributing to like the healthcare when they have to get skin grafts on their face and every inch of their body to peel like the little bits of fiber of lycra out of their muscle fibers.
I can't stand the self-righteousness of them and the insistence that the road belongs to them, and that the complete unwillingness to accept that there's going to be inherent risk. They just think every car should cross the middle line in order to give them 1.5 meters or whatever, so that they can virtue signal their little lycra-clad asses to work every day and make everyone feel bad that they didn't get their exercise. Well, listen, I'm eating fucking carrot cake. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We live different lives, but don't expect me to swerve into oncoming traffic not to hit you because it was important to you to fucking bicycle to work. It drives me crazy when they hold everyone up. When they hold everyone up on their way to work.
It's it's ridiculous.
I think I told you the story about me getting lost in Kelowna. Did I tell you that we got stuck in a bike race?
Daddy.
I am behind the bikes again, Daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if that was this podcast or the other podcast.
Yeah, anyway, there's a bike race called the Grand Fondo, which some of the people I was working with were in the bike race, and I got stuck behind it and got lost. And so every time I made a turn, I had to wait for the bike race to pass. And then I was telling the story to one of the girls who had been in it, and I kept calling it the Grand Fondant, and she was like, I'm just going to stop you. Fondant is what you put on a cake. So that's my life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Fitting into your jeans is fun, but have you tried craft beer and wings?
I think that is for me the appeal of the motorcycle lifestyle, is that there are a lot of other fat people in it. So I'm just like, well, fuck it. I look like my friends. I look like my new friends.
My new friends, the bikers.
Having said that, I don't bike with anyone. I can't keep up. I don't drive fast. And I also find like bike rallies, you and I have fun at them. Like it was fun when it was you and Dad and I go into them. Yeah, but I don't really talk to anybody. Dad almost got in a fight at the last one he went to.
Yeah, no, poor cancer patient Dad.
Yeah, that motherfucker kicked dust on my boots. I said, I don't think he meant to, Dad.
No,
I'm gonna have a word with him. I said, Dad, you're on chemotherapy.
I don't fit in with some of those crowds, like the really tough. But you know what though? Let's face it, the really tough bikers really aren't big tough bikers unless they're like drug runners and shit like that.
I mean, they would look at us and think we were, well, maybe not you because you're in like high vis.
No, I know. Well, you know what's really funny? I went up this mountain the other day, and I went with a friend that I met through like a group bike thing on Facebook. And these guys are really chill. They're like my demographic. And they're like, if you're going to pass people and go fast, this is not the group for you. Yeah. So it's just like people who like riding bikes and
here for the scenery. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went up this mountain and we were stopping, we were having a coffee, and I was wearing my leather vest and shit. And because you like to play pretend when you're riding a Harley. And it's got
I dress like the same. But I don't wear a leather jacket every day.
No, well, I mean, I wear my black jeans, my black shirt.
Oh, you dress like Dad did. Yeah.
and then like my Harley vest over the top.
Oh, okay.
So then I can put like my patches on there and shit. So we were just standing there having a coffee, and he was wearing a leather jacket too. And this guy's car fucking caught on fire right in front of us. And
No.
yes, because it was overheated, and I was like, "Oh, that doesn't look good."
Oh, because
The
it was
guy
going
came
up a
out-
mountain.
Yes, we went in and was like, "Hey, whoever's driving the Subaru, your car's on fire." And because we're dressed like this, they immediately think that we're some sort of like
That you set the
knucklehead
car
or-
on fire.
No, like we know about engines and stuff because we're bikers. We do our own maintenance and shit. And he's like, "Well, what do you think it is?" And I was like, "Probably the oil. The oil probably spilled. Gotta go. Bye." My bike's parked next to your car, so I'm just gonna go. Bye.
Oh my
Good
god.
luck. Call RACQ.
Something happens when you buy a motorcycle. I don't know if it happened to you, but I bought a bike and all of a sudden decided that I could do maintenance on motorcycles and I could wrench on them, and I don't know. I've done so
I'll
many
do maintenance on the dirt bikes because I'm not as financially invested in them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch my good bike.
Well, the Harley, I did the foot pegs. I changed out the clutches and stuff like that, but not the clutch. Wait, the clutch lever.
Oh yeah,
Let's not get crazy. But with the cheaper bikes, because it costs so much to take them in just to get an oil change and stuff, I'm like, oh fuck it, how hard can this be? I always end up covered in hot oil with a burn on my hand.
Yeah.
And then I got the rings, and I can't figure out which one goes on top and which one goes on the bottom, and they're little rubber gaskets.
I rebuilt Elijah's carburetor on his TTR 50, and it took me 3 days.
It's amazing.
But it's something that should have taken someone 20 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't. Carburetors are hard. That's a big job. I'm still scared to do it. Did you use YouTube?
No, I just took it apart and put it back together.
Oh, how the hell did you figure that out? There's
Well,
so
it's
many
only
little bits and
only
floats and...
No, it's only 3 pieces.
Oh. Yeah, I would do it wrong. I'd put it in backwards.
Well, no, the hard part was getting the seal to go back into place. So, yeah, but that's
pretty
the
impressive.
life I leave. Now I've got to replace. Thank goodness this guy sold me this bike. The back right blinker doesn't work, but it's a plug and play, so it's just like a audio cord that plugs into it. So,
yeah, I've got to replace the blinkers on the Kawasaki, but they're not plug and play. I'm very disappointed in that. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that it's $30 for them to do it at the mechanic. So I was like, well, I'll do that. But they didn't have the plug and play one, so I thought I'd give this a red hot shot first. And then I've got to change the speedometer cable. So,
yeah, I've got to do that on the Honda.
But I don't know if I need to really have it. I don't know if to have it roadworthy. I don't know if the speedometer needs to work.
I don't know if have you seen any of the NB Fam videos? They're just like motorcycle ride along videos.
No.
So I've been recording.
Oh, that's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've just been recording these motorcycle ride along videos, and when you watch the one of the Honda CB750, watch the speedometer. It goes as soon as you hit about 80, it starts swinging from 10 to 150.
Mine doesn't even turn. Mine doesn't even turn. The odometer doesn't work.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So you probably got a pretty good deal. This either has 15,000 kilometers or 520,000 kilometers.
Yeah, it's stuck on 99999.
Perfect.
But it goes, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So,
pretty fun.
And
pretty fun.
they've got some good trails that you can go on around here, so I'll keep you posted. I'll also try to take some videos now that I've got my computer working again. I had to defrag it. Apparently that's a thing that you need to do.
Yeah, with those old hard drives because Oh, well then this recording might actually work because that would make sense.
You never know.
Anyway,
let me just play this funky music to get us out.
Yeah, let's try to do another one next week. We haven't done one in a while.
If this works, I'm totally game. Otherwise, I'll have to get a new computer and I'll
then
have to
we'll
postpone
start
the whole
again.
shower thing again. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Well, I love you, bro.
thanks for listening, guys. Love you too. Have fun.
See you, weirdos.
Bye, weirdos.
Wrong music.